June exam, paper 1. So I'm going to go through the answers quickly. You can always just go back on the video to double check if you need to. Okay, right. So question 1. One point one point one, 2x minus 3 times x plus 7, and the instruction there is to solve for x. So this is already in factor form, so all I do is put each factor equal to 0. So I can say 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, or x plus 7 is equal to 0. And then I solve for x. I would take over the negative 3 and also divide by 2. So on the side, that will be 3 over 2, and on the side, that will be negative 7. Okay, 1.1.2, 7x squared plus 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. We would use the quadratic formula. Negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so that would be negative 3 plus minus b squared would be 3 squared minus 4, 7 times negative 2 all over 2 times a is 14, 2 times 7. Okay, so that would be negative 3 plus minus 4 times 7 is 28, times 2 is 56. That would be 9. 9 plus 56 is 65 over 14. So okay, so all you need to do is punch that in your calculators and get your final answers now. Okay, 1.1.3. Okay, so first thing we need to do is isolate the square root. So we need to take over the 3. So it will be x minus 3. And then to get rid of the square root, we're going to square on both sides. So we need to square both sides. That will leave me with x minus 1. And x minus 3 squared. That's going to end up being x times x would be x squared negative 6x plus 9. That's x squared, take over the x, that would be negative 7x, take over the negative 1, it would be plus 1, so that makes it positive 10. Then I can factorize that. So it's plus, that means it's going to be the same signs, and there's a negative, so it's going to be negative, negative. I know x and x will give me the x squared. So what times what will give me 10, and if I add it will also give me 7, 5 and 2. And then from there I equate the factors equal to 0. And then solve for x. X will be 5 here, x will be 2 there. Okay. Next one is the inequality sum. One point 1.4 x squared greater than 3x plus 6. So we first multiply that out. So it's going to be 3x plus 18. Then I can bring everything over to one side. X squared minus 3x minus 18 is greater than 0. Then I can factorize this quadratic. So that's going to be, so this is to find my critical values now. So that's going to be plus minus, so I can put that equal to 0 just for now to find my critical values. X and x, so what times what can give me 18, but if I add or subtract will give me negative 3, 6 and 3. So because that's negative there, the larger number will go with a negative, so the 3 will go there. So my critical values is negative 3 or x is equal to 6. Then I draw a rough sketch. So this will be a parabola, right? Graph of a parabola. And that's my x-intercept values. It will be at negative 3 and positive 6. So my graph will look something, didn't go exactly through negative 3, but okay, it's just a rough sketch. My graph will go through negative 3 and 6. And the question here, if I go back here, where is this graph greater than 0? So I need to consider this portion and this portion of the graph, which is above 0. So my answer there will be x is everything less than negative 3 or x is everything greater than 6. Okay. Right, 1.2. We need to solve x and y simultaneously. Sorry, that's 2y plus x is equal to 1. And x squared plus y squared plus 3xy plus y is equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to make that equation 1, and that's equation 2. Okay, so easiest way to do this is to make x the subject of the formula here, because there's no number in front of the x. So from equation 1, we're going to make x the subject of the formula, so that's going to be 1 minus 2y. Let's make that equation 3. So we're going to substitute equation 3 into equation 2. So now wherever I see x here, I'm going to substitute it with 1 minus 2y. So I have 1 minus 2y there. That needs to be squared plus y squared plus 3. There's x again, so I substituted with 1 minus 2y times y plus y is equal to 0. Okay, so now that needs to be squared. Okay, let me write it out. Okay, I'm going to times that out so long. So that's going to be 3 minus 6y. And all of that must still multiply with that y. Okay, so if I times this out, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times negative 2y is negative 2y. And then negative 2y times 1 is also negative 2y. So that's going to end up being negative 4y. And that times that will be positive 4y squared plus y squared. Y times 3 will be 3y minus 6y squared plus y. Alright, now I need to add the like terms. So start with the y squares. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Negative 2y squared. Then the y's, that's going to be 2y. No. Okay. 2y, 5y. 5 minus 4 is y. And then 1 is the only constant. Okay. Okay, because I have a negative there, I'm just going to divide each term through by -1. I hope I didn't make a mistake, because then this whole video is down the drain. Okay, so divide this through by -1, and then I need to factorize that. Okay, so the values, okay, let's start with the sign. Because it's negative, it's going to be plus minus, and because it's 1 at the back, the only option is 1 times 1, and then we're going to need to have 2y times y. So let's check. 2y times y is 2y squared. 2y times -1 will give me -2y, and 1 times y is positive 1y. If I add -2y and positive 1y, it's going to give me that -y, so that's correct, and that times that gives me the -1. Okay, we're still on the right track. Okay, so then each factor put equal to 0. And then y would be, take over the 1, that would be -1, and then need to divide by 2 as well. This one will be 1. So now I need to go and substitute this into either 1, 2, or 3. I think 3 will be the easiest one to substitute it into. So we're going to substitute those answers. We're going to substitute it into equation 3. So x is equal to 1 minus 2 times -1/2. -1/2 times 2 is -1. Negative and negative makes a positive. So that's going to be 1 plus 1, that's 2. 1 minus 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 minus 2 is -1. Okay. Yeah, so that's my answers there. 1 and 2 will be -1/2, and 2. The other one is 1, -1. Okay.